Hey everyone, and welcome back to No Bull Biz TV. It's great to be back here, and we had an awesome founder feature last episode with Melvin Estorga. And I gotta tell you, Melvin, for some reason, being from Phoenix, Arizona, from the desert, from the heat, loves the freaking snow. He loves the cold weather, and he actually came up here and did some snowboarding for the very first time. It was his first time seeing the Canadian Rockies, and came up here at the beginning of this year, back in January of 2018. We had a lot of fun, which you saw some of those shots in the interview. But yeah, he's like crazy excited that Christmas is coming, and you're probably seeing it on social media these days, the countdown to Christmas. I saw just the other day, you know, the 100 days until Christmas. And so officially today, we are 95 days away till Christmas. So I can tell you one thing right now, being up here in Canada, it's starting to feel cold. It's starting to look a little bit like Christmas. We had some snow last week, and there's supposed to be some more snow this weekend. It's still summer, I think, until what, Saturday? Saturday's the official first day of fall. Like, come on. Anyways, so looking forward to getting you back up here again, Melvin, with you and your family. It's going to be fun this Christmas. But I can tell you right now, guys, this founder feature, we're doing something a little bit different today. It's kind of a part 2 follow-up to what we did last episode with Melvin. This time the table's going to turn, and Melvin is actually going to interview me. We were talking a few weeks ago, and Melvin said, Jeremy, you know what? You've got such a crazy story. You've been an entrepreneur your entire life, pretty much, and you know, you've got so much to talk about when it comes to business and experience. And I guess, you know what, for us personally, you know, you could probably agree with me on this, that our story seems just old to us, right? Because it's our story. You know, we live it, we breathe it, we talk a lot about it. And so to us, it's kind of old. Like, who wants to hear our story, right? But to somebody else who's never heard it before, it's crazy. It's like a movie. And so he really wanted me to share my story here on No Bull Biz TV. So I said, well, Melvin, you know what? Why don't you interview me then? Ask me some questions, and he wanted me to prepare the questions. I said, no, I'm not doing that, man. You can just ask the questions the way that you want to ask them. I'm an open book. I don't care. I'll just answer them the way that they are. So that's what we did. We just shot this yesterday. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it, and we had a really good time together. And Melvin's got a lot of passion for this area that we're working in and around with this No Bull Biz movement, and building this community where people can really plug in and grow, and get the tools, plug into the experience, plug into the mentors in and around this community that have been there, that have done it, that have gone through the journey of building a business from nothing, and really, you know, have done the entrepreneur journey the hard way. And you know, I just get so sick and tired of seeing all this stuff online where everybody's like, yeah, I'm just sitting on the beach, and you know, I'm working from my phone today, and you know, life is great as an entrepreneur. And you know, they've got this like tone that there's no work involved. Guys, that is the biggest load of crap. I mean, being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, you guys, is the hardest thing that you'll ever do. It's insane. You go through so much, especially on the emotional side of being an entrepreneur. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to get real. We're going to get raw today. We're going to talk about what it really takes to be in business. And Melvin is going to do the interview. So I'm going to turn this over to the interview that we did yesterday together. And Melvin's going to be the host today. So here we go. Let's get into it. Welcome back to No Bull Biz TV. I'm here with Melvin Estorga. We got to hang out just 2 Fridays ago with a founder feature. What do we call it? From digging ditches to riches?
That's right.
I love it.
Yeah.
What an awesome story, man. I really enjoyed our time together. And what we decided to do was do kind of a follow-up to the last one as kind of a part 2. And it kind of goes back to a conversation Melvin and I had about three weeks ago or so. And Melvin was saying, Jeremy, you've got a crazy story. You need to tell it. You need to share it. And I said, well, like the story always sounds so old to me because I've talked about it so much and it's been part of my life for the last 2-3 years. But the biggest thing is I thought it would be really cool if Melvin did a Q&A with me. So we're going to kind of turn the table around today and Melvin's going to ask me some questions, but be nice, bro. Okay. Be nice.
I promise.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm turning it over to you, man. I'm your guest on No Bull Biz TV.
All right. I'm a host today, right?
You are, man. You are.
I love it. I love it. I've never been a host of anything before, so this is my first time.
Oh, cool. There you go. There you go.
But
Mr. Host.
We were talking about how, I wanted you to share your story on this channel here because I think this is a very impactful channel. I think it's helping a lot of people. As a matter of fact, even from our last session, we had our last little interview. I got a lot of feedback from how this channel is really impacting people. And I just want to give it back to you for doing this. I mean, you're not getting paid for this. Nobody's doing anything, but you're doing it because for the love of the game. You love people. You love to help out people. So I just want to give it back to you for just being a servant to others and just wanting to help the community out there of entrepreneurs. And I know the reason you're doing it because of your story. Your story is the reason you're doing this because you know what you went through. And you are hoping and realizing that through this channel, No Bull Biz, that someone out there is going to get the information that you needed when you were going through your hard times in your business. So I understand why you're doing this, but I just want to give it back to you for doing this. And I appreciate you having me on again on this channel. But I want to start off by asking Jeremy Crawford, who is the real Jeremy? Let's take it back to when you were 6, 7, 8 years old. Did you always have that entrepreneurial mindset? Share with the people on this channel what your upbringing was. What was it like?
Well, first of all, thanks for your kind words, Melvin. It means a lot to me. And I mean, you do know where my heart's at, and I know where your heart's at. And I think that's why we work really well together on this type of a platform. So, going back to when I was a kid, it's funny, I've always, for whatever reason, some people say you're just kind of born an entrepreneur. And I guess that was kind of the way it was with me. Because I remember when I was like 6, 7 years old, I was doing deals, man. I mean, I remember going to Dairy Queen and making a deal with the owner in the back alley, dressed up like a construction guy, took my little red wagon over there with a broom and a shovel, and I was negotiating free ice cream treats in order to clean up, in behind the location and sweep up all the, in Canada, because we get so much winter and so much snow, we get so much gravel on the roads. And so I was offering to clean it all up, behind his store. And that's just kind of the first story that comes to my mind. I remember being Mr. Construction Man and out there cleaning and had my hard hat on and I ended up negotiating free ice cream. So I think it's in my blood, man. It's just my grandfather was a big time entrepreneur. And, if you go back into the early Crawford family, which I've been doing a lot of research on this year, which goes all the way back to Leith over in Edinburgh, Scotland. We founded the Crawford Scotch. We founded the Crawford Biscuit Factory. So we've got a lot of business, in our blood. And so I think it's just kind of a natural thing for me.
That is awesome. That is so great. So when we go up to Canada to visit you over the holidays, because I know I'll be up there visiting you, we got to go to that. We got to go to that Dairy Queen. We got to go visit the Dairy Queen and see where your entrepreneurial life started. Is that a deal?
It's still there. Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah. We got to go get some ice cream there.
Okay. All right.
All right. One of the things that I admire of you a lot, Jeremy, is your grit. Like, I know that's not, it's been developed and it's not always been there because I know you personally, but tell me in the audience how you developed that grit. What did you really have to go through to start developing that grit? And if you can share a little bit detail of what that means.
I've heard it said from different entrepreneurs, never, ever quit, never, ever give up. And to be quite honest with you, I've quit so much in my life. I'll start something and then I'll quit, and I'll start something and I'll quit. But I don't know what it is inside of me that keeps bringing me back to the point of really wanting to win. I want to win. I want to win for my family. I want to win for my kids. I want to win for my, for my friends. I want friends to win around me. I really feel that I'm just kind of called to do that. I just feel, kind of going back to your first question, like I feel like it's just it's in me. Some people just don't have what it takes to go out there and dig and dig and dig, and then it doesn't work out, and they go back and they dig again and they dig again. And you know, Melvin, you know what that's about because of your story. But, you know, for me, I think it had a lot to do with the way I was raised. I mean, I wasn't raised with, you know, a gold plate in front of me. You know, I didn't have handouts. I mean, I'm self-made. I never had anybody roll it out from my family and say, here you go, Jeremy, just take over the family business. So everything that I've ever wanted in my life, I've had to work extremely, extremely hard. And the biggest thing about me is that I just feel like inside of me, I just can't quit. I may quit a project. I may quit working on something, but I won't quit. As a human being, I won't quit. You're going to have to kill me in order for me to quit, really. Like, it's going to be that bad. So yeah. I just, and you know my dreams, man. I mean, I've got big dreams. I've got huge targets in my life right now. But the grid is like a game, and you either enjoy the game of life or you don't enjoy the game of life. And I've had my times where I've had to come back, right? You know, where you just, man, I've had enough of this game. I'm out. But if it's in you, it's in you. And I just don't think everybody has it in them, Melvin. I really don't.
That's awesome. Because one thing that I do remember is you always talking about these projects you started, and how through your entrepreneur career and your business life, you have started many projects. When you're saying you might have quit a project, but you never quit on life. Right. Share with the people on No Bull your first business and how it evolved to where you're at right now. Let's hear more of the full on story here.
Well, you know, right out of high school, you know, and I started dating very, very young. My first real girlfriend was my wife, Amy. And so, you know, we really hooked up in kind of grade 10. So I mean, right away, just the way I was raised, you know, I wanted to spend my life with her, and I needed to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And right out of high school, I got this opportunity when I graduated to work for a publisher up in Edmonton. And I've always loved magazines. You know, I walk into a store and you go to the magazine rack, and I'm just like, I love the magazine. I think it's a way of visually dreaming, you know, looking at the cars, looking at the houses, looking at the yachts, whatever it is that you're attracted to. One of the magazines I loved growing up was the Robb Report. You know, Melvin, the Robb Report, right? All the really high-end stuff. I just loved it, right? It wasn't something that I grew up with. So for me, it was like, wow, it was like a whole new thing. So I got working for this, this publisher in Edmonton. And, you know, he was making lots of commitments in terms of how he was going to grow the magazine and make it better and better distribution and all this stuff. So I came in, I was doing sales, and I'm going out and I'm getting these advertisers, and, you know, I'm learning about, you know, building the actual ads and designing the ads and getting the ads ready to go into the magazine. And I love the entire process. But the biggest problem was my advertisers weren't getting an ROI. They weren't getting a return on their investment. It wasn't really performing for them. It was just one of these crappy little rags that was in, you know, the grocery store when you walked into the, into the entranceway on a little rag stand, and you know, it just wasn't doing anything. And so I got this crazy idea at the ripe old age of 19 that I'm going to be a publisher. I'm going to start my own advertising company. I'm going to start my own publishing company. And man, I had no business being in business. I was a kid. I had no clue what the heck I was doing, right? But I literally, I remember quitting my job. I came home, you know, Amy and I were just getting married. I can't remember if we were married or we had just gotten married. And I basically said to her, look, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. I'm starting my own company. I'm starting my own magazine, my own ad agency. And she just kind of looked at me like, oh my God, what are we going to do? So that's really how the whole thing kind of kicked off. I was like, this is crazy, man. Like, this guy, he says he's going to do this. He's going to do this. It's never going to happen. And so I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm going to make the best magazine in my marketplace.
That is awesome. That is awesome. You know, one thing that my partner Travis and I, we've conversated a few times about you, and one of the things that always comes up is that Jeremy's a dreamer, man. He's a dreamer, and that's kind of what I hear you saying there. That you wanted the things, you wanted to grow, you wanted to build a business, and only dreamers do that, man. You're right on there on that track of, you know, commitment, but also vision. That's another word that I can describe you. Visionary. You had these great big visions, and one of the big visions that you had was helping people through technology, through some of your companies that you started not too long ago. Share with the public what those business did and how it evolved and some of the not so good stories and some of the highs of your technology business?
Well, I guess for me, just going back to getting into the magazine business, design really became my passion. I ended up learning graphic design through working with that magazine, and I didn't like the way their designers were creating ads. I wanted to build, my clients' ads, and so I became really passionate about graphic design. And that ended up leading me into software design. And so I love designing software. But you're right, I am a dreamer. And, you saw Grant Cardone in Scottsdale just, a couple weeks back. And I've watched Grant over the last few years. And one of the things that I love about Grant is that when he says that he's going to do something or he's representing this 10X lifestyle, he shows us exactly that result, right? And we saw it with his first jet, getting the G2 and then going up to the G5, and it's like, man, this guy is killing it. Like he says, you can fake a Lambo, but you can't fake a Gulfstream G5, man.
You can't fake a jet.
No, so I guess for me, I really wanted to win. I looked at a lot of different industries. I looked at what my skill set was. And when I really identified what my passion was, it was product development. I love taking an idea, a dream, if you will, and turning it into an actual product, right? And a lot of people don't understand. They go, Jeremy, how the heck do you just start a company with nothing, with no money, with zero? How do you do that? Well, it starts with a dream, right? It starts with a dream, and then you have to have the ability to turn it into a product. And if that's not your skill set, then you have to find somebody who can actually do that. So I ended up kind of moving into tech. This is going back about, pretty much around the same time that you and I met, about 7, 8 years ago, and just really started to study where technology was starting to take us. I looked at the retail recession. I looked at, where e-commerce was going to go. And I'm a big hockey fan, obviously being a Canadian. And one of the things that Wayne Gretzky always says is, go to where the puck's going. You don't want to be late. You want to be early. You want to be there ready to receive that pass. And so in business, it's the same thing. You got to go where the puck's going. You got to have the ability to look ahead, and people may laugh at you. Look at Elon Musk. How many boardrooms did Elon Musk get laughed out of, going back just a few years ago, right? He doesn't care. He didn't care. He had his dream. He had his target, and now everybody talks about this guy, right? Guy smokes a little weed last week, and all of a sudden, everybody, oh my God, he's smoking weed, I actually heard a really funny thing the other day, and it's like, maybe he actually needed to smoke some weed. Maybe things were just getting a little too high.
Needed to chill.
Needed to chill out, But you know what? Honestly, man, like for me, it doesn't matter what it is that you're going to do. I remember my grandfather telling me this right before he passed away. And he said, Jeremy, if you're going to do something, you might as well get up every morning and go do something that you like. If you don't like what you're doing, number one, it's going to be hard to find success, because if you don't like what you're doing, you're not going to put in the time. And Melvin, being an entrepreneur, it's hard. And these people that are out there on YouTube and social media and, I'm just, laying on the beach, or I'm just hanging out at the hotel making money on my phone. That's bullshit. I hate how they promote that, right? That's like showing people the jelly bean on top of the cake, right? Yeah. They don't show all the ingredients. They don't show all the work. And being an entrepreneur flat out is freaking hard. It is the hardest thing. It's easier just to get a job and just show up and work a shift. Being an entrepreneur is extremely hard. So you got to love what you do. It's got to be something that you're passionate about, or you're not going to be willing to put in the time. I mean, that's just the bottom line. So technology is, it's brought me into some incredible chapters in my life. I've met some incredible characters in my life, some great, some obviously not so great. My story. I got taken out just a couple years ago, and it was actually a family friend who had won the lottery up here in Canada. And to me and my family, it was like a dream come true. I was in the process of getting this tech company off the ground and trying to get our technology fully coded and, fully developed and really so we could have a product to release to the market. And when we had that opportunity to bring this individual in and back the company, it was like my biggest dream came true. And it was just so short-lived. It was about a 6-month journey. And he ended up turning completely against us. He wanted to be in control. He wanted to be the boss. And, when he wasn't getting what he wanted, that was it, man. The tables turned, and it was a storm in a real hurry. So he created a bogus lawsuit and came after me, came after all of our assets. And, we fought hard. We fought for 9-10 months. Did the whole litigation thing, which, by the way, is insane in the United States. It is so freaking expensive. And the only people that win are the lawyers, period. So, yeah, it was, it was tough. I got into a very dark tunnel, a very dark, deep depression. I've shared a little bit of this on No Bull Biz before, so I won't take up a lot of time doing that. But Melvin, you watched me at kind of the height of that. We had bought a building and, renovated it, went from, 0 to around 14 employees. We had a bunch of people working in the office. It was fast paced. It was exciting. Then we had the launch, and then you saw me come crashing down right after that. And so it was literally like 2 weeks after we launched our product in Canada and the US, had our big launch party down in Scottsdale at the W. He slapped this lawsuit on me, and it was literally 2 weeks after we launched the product. So it was tough, man. Like, it was literally like PTSD for me, because you go up and you come right down, and it was just like, it was something I've never experienced before in my life, and I really didn't think it was going to hit me the way that it did, but it did, and it really took me out, man. It really took me out.
I know one of the things that I've spoken to you about, Jeremy, is being real with yourself. And one of the things that we've talked about is identifying who you really are as a person. And through that time, you, like you said, you were kind of in a dark area in your life, a dark time. And coming out of it, I told you, hey, you can't change, man. The way you are, the way you feel, the way you can't change that. That's who you are. And you're going to get hurt being the way you are. People are going to take advantage of you because of the way you are, because you're a giver, because you express so much love, and people are going to take advantage of that, but you cannot change. Share with us a little bit how it felt coming out of the darkness, because maybe there's a lot of people right now who are struggling in business, and they might be saying, you know what, I'm going to get out of this, but it's never going to happen to me again. They want to put this mask on and really just not be who they are truly because of their past experiences. And just share with us how you continue to be Jeremy Crawford through the process of darkness, and now coming out and now being successful. And I won't let the cat out of the hat, but you're already close to the top, climbing up there. You're doing great things already. But throughout the whole process, you stayed humbled and stayed, I don't know what the word I can express it as is, always willing to give the people the benefit of the doubt, right? Giving them the best. Share with us how through the process you continue to be that person.
Well, you were at Thrive just last weekend, and you shot me. You sent me the video of I forget his name again. They call him the motivational preacher, right?
Yeah, Eric Thompson.
Yeah. Yes.
E.T. the hip hop preacher.
E.T. the hip hop preacher. And, I'm getting goosebumps right now while we're talking about this, because you sent me the video, and it was a very important clip. I don't even know how you timed it so right, but you did. And he was talking about, in your pain, you will eventually come out of it, and your pain will become your ministry. And I was like, wow, yeah, I'm getting rocked right now just telling you this back.
When you eat out of trash cans, when you stumble over words, when you say God will humble you, and the one thing that I thought was a pain point became my greatest asset by going through all of that stuff. It humbled me. I'm telling you, you gotta go through some pain. But do me a favor, don't quit, because on the other side of the pain is your ministry. On the other side of the pain is your product. On the other side of the pain is your money. On the other side of the pain are your relationships.
And he was talking about how your real friends, when you're going through this pain, you look around and you really see who the real people are in your life,
Look, I told my son, when you go through pain, whoever ain't supposed to be there won't be there once the pain starts. Whoever's there for you for your money, when you go through pain and you ain't got no money, only the real people gonna stick by your side, son. So go through some pain so you can purify your relationships.
And you've been that bro for me. And one of the things that you've done is you've given me a safe place where I could be myself. When I needed to punch the bag and come out, and I was still trying to figure it all out. I mean, where I am today, you know where I am today and where I was even just 7-8 months ago, apples and oranges, right?
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is I've tried to be somebody else many times in my life. And trying to be somebody else is so hard. Yeah. It's so hard. It's like that uphill battle, right? There's so much resistance there because you're not you. And so unfortunately, it's taken me, 39 years to finally get comfortable with who I am and to be able to look at that and say, you know what? I'm Jeremy. This is me. This is what I'm good at. This is my talent. This is my skill set. And then going through the pain over the last couple of years, looking at that and saying, okay, God, why did I go through that? Like, what is the message in all of this mess, right? What is the message here? What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to teach me in all of this? And so I've noticed that, and I've shared this with you many times, but I've noticed that I've been put in situations, I've been put into conversations, I've been put into relationships over the last 2 years where there's tragedy all around. There's pain all around. And for whatever reason, God uses me in that situation to bring hope, right? To be a message of hope. And I go, I guess if that's what this is about, then cool, I'm in, right? I'm in. But in the moment, when you're in that mess, when you're going into that drift and you're hitting the bottom, it's really hard to understand that all of that is going to end up becoming something good. There's that scripture verse in the Bible that says, he works all things together for the good, right? And sometimes you go, when you're in that storm, you go, what? How the flip is that going to turn into something good? Yeah. But I really do truly believe that, what E.T. was talking about at Thrive, that our pain will eventually will eventually show us and reveal to us what our actual ministry is. And so now I've got this passion to not only motivate and help people that have a dream, that maybe don't have, what it takes to become an entrepreneur. They don't have a rich dad. They don't have a rich uncle. They just don't have, all the things that people typically would need to get started easily. I've got a tough story. And so I go, okay, well, this is my story. And now I need to start talking about it, right? There's nothing to be ashamed about, right? There's been lots of failure, but failure is part of the process in terms of getting to where you need to go, right? We can't do the things that we want to do at a high level until we're conditioned, until we're marinated.
Wow, that's good.
Right? We can't. We cannot do it. We may want to do it. The things I wanted to do when I was 21, 22, 23 years old, I wasn't ready, right? I wasn't even ready 3-4 years ago. Even the way I dealt with the situation of losing my company, I would deal with it completely differently today, right? Wow. So my heart and my passion now shifts into a role, into a position of who can I help avoid that? And you and I know, man, a lot of the mentors that we plug into on a daily, on a weekly basis, right? We're looking for those red signs that say, Melvin, don't go there. Bro, trust me, I did it. This is what happened. And when people share those stories, it's so powerful for us. So that really resonated with me, man. And going from your pain and then into your ministry and trying to figure out what is the message in the mess and all this stuff until you actually live it. And this is my last point in terms of answering that question, Melvin, but how can you truly relate to somebody in a season of pain if you haven't been there? Wow. And so I feel now that when I'm sitting down and I'm talking to an entrepreneur that's losing his company, that's in the middle of a lawsuit, that's in the middle of losing their marriage, that's in the middle of maybe wanting to leave their marriage, all this mess. I sit there and look at my life and I sit there and look at my mess and I go, I get it. I've been there. I've gone through those chapters, and now I can sit there and I can hold hands. I can embrace somebody that's going through the mess and say, look, I get it, right? And it's not talk is cheap, right? No, I get it, and this is why I get it, because this is what happened to me. This is what I went through. And people, man, when people realize that somebody else is there dealing with, because when you're going through a dark season, you feel like you're the only person. And when you find somebody that's real and raw and open and says, look, I get it. I've been there. I went through it too. All of a sudden they feel like there's hope, And if we don't have hope, we don't have anything, man. So.
Yeah, no, that's such a great point, Jeremy, and to add to that, and you kind of shared with us, it's just in a little segment, your why, which is huge, wanting to help people. But one of the things that I know from you is that, just looking back on everything that you've been through, they took the exotic car, the convertibles, the Porsches, the $1 million homes, the pool, you had this above normal lifestyle, and it was all taken away from you, like overnight, all gone, but the one thing that didn't take was your hope, your inspiration, and your experience. You are a fighter and a warrior, and you are a king. And that's what they can't take from you, Jeremy. And I just want to give it back to you on that, because through the whole process, I can't even imagine going through, the whole losing everything I've desired to have my entire life and just take it from me overnight. Mm. It's so hard to even fathom like that. That's a big deal, but to stay positive and say, you might take my dream cars, my motorcycles, my dream home, my lifestyle, you might take everything, but the one thing that they didn't take was your hope, your inspiration, and your fight and your grit and everything that makes a true person a great person. And that's what you are. With your family supporting you, with Amy and the girls, your support team there at home is huge. And there's such a great inspiration to many other people as well, because they are, as we talked, they're influencers as well. They influence so many people because they get it. They get the message. They get on what it is to be really fulfilled in life, and that's helping other people, right?
Absolutely. One of the things that, Amy and I haven't done is, we've sheltered our daughters in many ways. But the one way that we haven't sheltered them or intentionally protected them was from, what life was throwing our family, right? We never hid that from them. They always knew what was going on. We exposed that to them, and it's made them tough. And in a world where you got to be tough, it's important for them to learn and understand that this world is not a nice place, right? This world is not a nice place. This world's full of really nasty people that want to do nasty things to you, but you have to condition your mindset to be not like them, right? You want to be set apart. And so it's incredible to watch my girls, pursue their dreams. Talia's had a tremendous amount of success online with, her YouTube and her Instagram and her clothing business. She is killing it. She's a very, very successful girl, very wealthy young girl. And I got to stop saying girl because she's not a girl. She's 19 now. She's a very successful lady boss. And I watch her and she works so hard. She puts the hours in and she just goes and goes and goes. And then Abby is, she kind of made a pivot this year from figure skating into dancing. And she made this K-pop team here in Canada. And she is the top dancer on the team. She's blowing my mind, but she works so hard. She'll go in and she'll train 3-4 days a week, 5, 6, 7 hours per session. It's crazy. So I think honestly, when I look around at that, it's nice to have the cars, it's nice to have the houses. And the one thing that I've proven to myself over and over again is I can always rebuild my life. You've seen that. I rebuilt my life. We have a great life now. We've got great companies now. It's been a lot of hard work the last year and a half, but when you've done it, you can do it again. You can come back, you can put your head down, you can grind it out. And I think one of the things that I've learned though, is I keep my mouth shut a lot more now. I don't show it off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody's business where I live. It's nobody's business how many square feet I have. It's nobody's business how many homes I have or where my homes are or what I drive. You know, I just don't go and show that off. You know, I go buy a new Roadster or at least a new Roadster, and I'm not plastering that all over social media. And I've got good reason for that, you know, because of what we went through and you know, but you know what, I've had mentors say to me, Jeremy, you know what, just keep it quiet. Just keep it quiet. You know, focus on your mission, focus on your product, focus on building your business. And the ones who are privileged enough to get close to you, right? Share it with them. Share it with them. I think we need to pay attention to some of that stuff. You know, there's being real and there's motivating, giving people hope and saying, hey, look, you know what? I can truly come from this $22,000 home that I grew up in to living in this beautiful home and having multiple homes in different countries. That's a reality. You can do that. Mm-hmm. You got to put in the work, right? But you don't have to go out there and show it off. You know, I got 5 cars, I got 6 cars. You know, it's nobody's business. It's nobody's business.
Yeah, that's awesome, Jeremy. You know, you're such an inspiration to so many people because of the things that you've gone through, you know, your life experiences. Now, I want to take a minute here and really dig even a little deeper before we end this session. Really, where does that energy come from and why do you continue to pursue besides, you know, your goals and rebuilding your life again? There's got to be something deep down. What's that chemistry? What does that look like? What does that feel like? What do you do when you wake up every morning that makes you say, you know what, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go after it again. Let's dig deep to really find that chemistry. What is it?
A lot of people say to me, Jeremy, you're just naturally excited all the time. And there's some truth to that, but it's not all the time. And, you know, one of the things that I do is I spend about 2.5 to 3 hours working on Jeremy every single morning. I get up at 4:30 in the morning and I am not ready for my day until about 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I have this ritual in my life, and I've studied a lot of really successful people, and they have rituals. They have a system that they follow. They have a code that they follow. And I've really adapted that during the process of rebuilding my life. And so, you know what? I'm a human being. I have days where I wake up and I feel like I'm on top of the world and, you know, I can do anything. And then I have other days where I really need that 2.5 to 3 hours. I need that personal development. I need that meditation session. I need that meditation walk. I need that training session. I need that spin class. There's all this stuff now that becomes part of the recipe that when you look behind the scenes, doesn't matter if it's an Olympic athlete, somebody who's won a gold medal, somebody who's built $1 billion company, there is so much systematic work that happens behind the scenes to perfect the recipe to actually have the success so that you can get to a point in your life where you have predictable results. So yeah, inside of me, honestly, Melvin, there is something inside of me that it's kind of like as a kid, you play hockey and then you go, okay, I want to play in the NHL. And there's some kids that talk about playing in the NHL, but they're not willing to do the extra work to make it not only to the National Hockey League, but to play in the National Hockey League and become an all-star, right? Yeah. And go to the Hockey Hall of Fame, right? That's a league in itself. That's in a world of its own, right? And so for me, I know what my dream is. And I've shared that with you, Melvin. And I know exactly where I want to go in life. There's a certain level that I do want to reach, and I'm not going to quit until I get there. That's just the reality. And what I do now is I surround myself with people, other entrepreneurs, other people that have the same mindset and have ridiculous targets. I had a meeting just a couple weeks ago with somebody right here in Calgary. And, you know, I just felt led to really share with him one of my biggest targets in my life. And he said, I've never told anybody this in my life. He said, I won't even tell family members. He says, but I have the same target as you. I want to reach that level. And so for me, it's like, I've decided in business, I want to make it to the Hockey Hall of Fame. That's what I want to do.
Wow.
I want to be an all-star. And so there's a certain level and I study them all, right? I mean, everybody from, you know, the Steve Jobs to the Jeff Bezos to, you know, even guys that have just built companies that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, right? But one common denominator is that these individuals didn't get there by fluke. There is a recipe for success, and it takes many, many, many years to develop your set of rituals, right? And so I've been able to do that. And so really, man, for me, like it might look like, man, Jeremy just keeps coming back. He just keeps hitting. He's just got this drive. But it's not just juice that's flowing. Like you have to work on that every single day. I was just on a phone call, not last night, the night before, with an Olympic athlete down in the United States that we're doing some work with. And she was sharing with me, it's really cool. She's going to be coming on our show really, really soon. But she was sharing with me on the mindset side of an athlete. And there's really there's kind of two personalities. There's the personality that, your publicist says, hey, when you're doing an interview, you got to be positive, and yeah, I'm working on my training program and everything's great. And we're going for the Olympics and everything's lovely and la, 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 la. But then there's the other personality behind the scenes that's like, I don't want to train today. I want to sleep in. I want to eat donuts. I want to eat cronuts. I want to go to the bakery. I want to eat candy. I want ice cream. I want all these things. And so you have to choose focus. You have to choose discipline. You have to choose commitment, right? I mean, you see all these people on social media now because of the accessibility that we have to people that are winning, people that are succeeding. And so you hear people say, oh, I want that life. Oh, I want that jet. Oh, I want that car. Oh, I want to be able to vacation 4 times a year or 6 times a year or work weeks, whatever their big message is. But the reality is they're not willing to live a life that's focused, disciplined, and really putting in the hard work every single day. And that's what it requires. You have to figure out what your rituals are. And when I tell people I work on myself for 2.5 to 3 hours a day before I even work, they look at me like, are you crazy, man? I don't have 2.5 to 3 hours. Well, guess what? You'll never perform at that level. When I read articles that Warren Buffett spends more time reading per day than he actually works, I was like, come on, man. How's that possible, right? But when you study the greats and you study the rituals, they are very, very protective of the environment that they create to keep this healthy. If this isn't healthy, you're done. You're out.
Yeah, that's awesome. One of the things that I learned from ET over the weekend, he said, I'm not humbled. I've been humbled. And that's one thing I see from you, Jeremy. You're such a humble person because, you've been humbled. Life has humbled you and life has humbled me. And we can appreciate things so much better now. We see everything with a different set of lenses, and we see life with a different set of filters because we've been through so much. And me and you are both men of faith, and we stand here together as friends, as entrepreneurs, and we can share to the world. Listen, I've gone through a lot in life. Mm-hmm. You've been through so much, Jeremy. I've been through so much, but we can sit here today and be like, hey, there's a way out. There's light at the end of the tunnel to be the message here. I understand that you and myself and so many people watching this video today are probably thinking, I can do it. These series of videos are helping me do it, but I'm missing something. And we'll end with this, Jeremy. What is that one piece of advice you can share with people outside of working on yourself, surrounding yourself with people, having a great mentorship? What is it that you see that's worked in your life the most?
Well, honestly, for me, even just going back to the figure skating example for my daughter, I watched her pivot, and so she's a human being that's trying to figure it all out. She's still extremely young. She's 15. And so as a parent, I'm giving her the space. I'm giving her the room to do that. I want to be her biggest fan. I want to be her biggest cheerleader, right? And in my life, and maybe this is a selfish statement, but in my life, I feel like I haven't had many cheerleaders. Wow. I feel like I haven't really had that. And so for me, and I think what really misses deep down inside for most people is that there isn't the desire. It's like losing weight.
Wow.
Unless there's a desire inside to really transform your life, to transform your finances, to transform your relationships, to transform your mindset, to transform your faith life. Until there's a desire there, and that desire is deep and it's connected to your soul, it's not going to happen. And so I think that's the difference really between somebody that says, I want to do something, I'm thinking about doing something, and actually doing it.
Yeah.
There's a big difference, right? And so one of the things that I really, really covet most in my life and I value the most are the relationships that I have, relationships like you, that when I talk to somebody in my life that says to me, I've made the decision to do it, and they actually have the desire inside to actually do it, and then they execute. Those people are so far and few between all the other characters that we meet in this movie, in this story of our life, that it is so attractive that I need more of these people in my life. People that are real, that are actually doing it. But I think the missing ingredient, honestly, Melvin, to answer your question is, or just to cover the point, is you need to have this burning desire inside. That burning desire can't be a desire that your mommy and your daddy has for you, or your uncle has for you, or your friend has for you. It has to be yours. You have to own it. And until you have that, you're literally just going to be a surfer in life. And I like to surf.
That's huge. I like that. I love that.
Right? And what does a surfer do? A surfer sits and he waits for the right wave. What we have to do in business, we have to make the waves, man. We have to make the waves. And that's the beauty. When I see guys like Grant Cardone making the waves, like he's going to have the largest entrepreneur training, motivational, personal development event that's ever happened. Ever. It's going to be insane. Right? But when you hear somebody talk like that, like when Grant Cardone says something ridiculously crazy out of his mouth, I believe it because he's living proof, right? And that motivates me every single day to be a better version of myself. But what keeps making me come back for more and what really drives me every single day to win, Melvin, it's that desire. It's that desire. I have this burning desire inside that I don't want to be the same person that I am today, that I was 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And, one of the things that drives me nuts is when people shove your past in your face. Like as if you're the same person.
Yeah.
Like, look yourself in the mirror, man. Come on. Are we the same person that we were when we were 19, 20 years old? I mean, in the world of business, you're still learning how to pee. Right? Without hitting the seat. Like, come on. Like, you're just a little baby in business.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest thing with people. We need to do more of encouraging people, motivating people, loving people, cheering people on and getting behind them and supporting them through their failures rather than coming and beating them over the head and going, see, I knew you'd fall.
Yeah.
What does that do?
Yeah.
Right? So if you're an entrepreneur or you think that you want to be an entrepreneur, the biggest thing is you better find a desire. You better find a burning desire. Otherwise, you're just going to quit. You're just going to give up. And you'll just settle for the wave. You'll just settle for the drift.
Yeah, I love that, what you said about the surf. I've never heard that before. We got to be wave makers. And one of the things that you ended with is, encouragement to others. And I know you, and I put this out for myself too. Hey, we want to encourage other people. So I know that you're not going to say no to this, but to your audience who are maybe thinking about reaching out to you or sending you a DM, I want to encourage them to reach out to you and reach out to me to get those encouraging words or that guidance somebody needs. Because I mean, I've sat before and hesitated to contact somebody because I figured, well, they're very successful. They're very busy. They're probably not going to want to talk to me. They don't have time for me. And I found out that the more the successful person is, the more they're willing to help.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
You're right. Absolutely.
The more the person has gone through something, the more they want to share about what their experiences were. And I want to put it out there. I know you're going to say yes to this, that, you invite people to message you, because you want to help other people. And I know where your heart is. And I know where my heart is. I want to help as much people as I can. You want to help as many people as you can. And we're not a big footprint in this entrepreneurial world, but listen, all we got to do is help one, and we've created an impact.
Totally, man. I mean, you and I went to some really cool events this year. One of the events that you and I actually went together earlier this year was Startup Phoenix. And, I want to do some really great things with No Bull Biz eventually, where we have an opportunity to create an environment where people can come in and really learn, right? Really learn, like, from the behind the scenes, like literally somebody who has an idea and has no idea on how to get started. They have no money, right? No money, no resources, no nothing. I had a buddy message me right before we started this filming today. And he's like, I got this crazy idea, man, but I got to learn how to code. No, you don't have to learn how to code. Number one, the learning curve for learning how to code, it's not something you learn in 5 minutes, right? Yeah, you learn basic stuff, but you want to be a master coder. You want to be a master engineer of actually creating technology for some kind of a mobile product. It takes years, right? So you got a great idea. That's awesome. Build a team around you that believes in the idea. Bring the professionals, bring the experts in that area to the table, and then go and build it and get it out there. So I really, you know what, Melvin? I want us to be able to take our experience in life and our experience in business and create a safe place for people to come, plug in, and they could literally walk into an event and walk out and be prepared and equipped to go out and actually start a business. Wouldn't that be rewarding?
That's awesome.
Right? That's what I want to do. And I think that's the vision really that has been, kind of handed to me through this No Bull Biz thing. Cause for me, it's not about ego. It's not about having a platform where, I can be this face or this brand or whatever. It's about creating a community where people can come in, they can get the tools that they need, and then they can go out there and they can win. And you build this like ecosystem where you've got the lawyers and the accountants and the experts and the engineers and, the graphic teams and the digital agencies and the digital strategy people. And you've got all these amazing resources that literally somebody can come in with their little book, with some ideas scrapbook down, and they can actually take these ingredients and they can go out and they can start a business for real.
That is awesome. That's a great vision. Jeremy, I appreciate your time. I know that we've covered so much in this short amount of time, but I know it's going to impact so many people. You've been just nothing but a servant to the community for No Bull Biz. And I just appreciate you for being there and being always available with your busy schedule. I know you're probably got something on your calendar that you're probably already late to already because you've taken time to be here and being on this interview. And I appreciate your time, appreciate you as a person. And I just want to continue to just see your successes on the next level.
Thanks, man. Melvin, it means a lot to me. Thanks for being here, bro. And I'm excited to see, I guess, what's next for both of us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And, Melvin, as he was saying in the end there, it is about us connecting with people that want to plug in and be part of this community and really plug into the experience and plug into the heart of the entrepreneurs over here at No Bull Biz that really care about helping you. I know some of the best mentoring moments that I've had in my life with business owners is hearing the challenges and the difficulty that they've gone through as an entrepreneur and really sharing their experience with me in order to hold me back from having to go through the pain that they had to go through. And so I know that that's my heart. I know that's Melvin's heart and so many others here at No Bull Biz. So, feel free to reach out, feel free to message us and connect with us on social media. And we would love to hear from you. We've got some really exciting episodes coming up. We've got Olympic medalist and absolute world champion Gracie Gold, who's a figure skater. She's got an incredible story, what she's gone through the last couple of years. And so we're gonna be shooting that here in the next couple of weeks and sharing that with you guys. And she's on her run right now to Beijing. And so she's going to be an extremely busy woman over the next few years with her training and her commitments. So we're extremely grateful and excited to have her coming on No Bull Biz TV to talk to us about mindset and what it really takes to be an Olympian, to be the best athlete in the world. So looking forward to that coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So guys, until next time, take action, stay focused, stay committed, and have an awesome, successful day. Cheers.
Ah!